addicted unto blood. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect. Shalom, Barakatham. And I want to speak about the title that I just gave, which is Hebrews the 12th chapter. This spoke about the Lord and His sacrifice, and ultimately the sacrifice that the apostles had to eventually do back when you read the book of Acts, okay, which they did mighty works, mighty miracles, just like the Lord did, and with that came a heavy persecution, just like the Lord had to go through. All right, and this is really just kind of laying back up what we spoke on at camp this past week, where the brother was attacked out there in Cali, and it's a wake-up call, like the brother did the lesson, and he said this should be a wake-up call. All right, we're not just going out on Saturdays and you know, with our hands in our pockets, you know, just going out and preaching for the fun of it. This thing is a deadly serious walk. Now, although we walk spiritually, you have to remember our enemies are carnal, okay? And so the Lord had to reserve us, you know, and had us put our carnality on a shelf, you know, until the elect is woken up, you know, in which when the elect is woken up, the Lord is basically going to be here. All kind of madness is going to be going on, plagues, you know, things that you're going to need the protection of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai from, and that's going to come in the form of spiritual powers, divine intervention, various things, miracles. You know, that's the standard talked about. All right. And why are we going to need all of these things? Because we are under the captivity of a very extremely bloody man. All right. And all of the minions that co-sign him, that consent to his order, to his image, they're bloody as well too, because it was a grimy nigga that came and attacked the brother over at the over there in Cali, man. You know, and you got to really think about what you're a part of, okay? Not just go through the motions, but let it sink in. You need to be meditating, you know, on the worst case scenario. Which, if the Lord requires us to forfeit our life, then that's what we got to do, you know, because we're not better than the Lord. Okay, He had to do it, so we have to have the same mindset, man. All right, and a mindset of victory and persevering. You know, this is where the men from the boys get separated, you know, as the saying goes. All right, but the Lord knows exactly what He's doing. He knows exactly which brother can handle particular things at particular times. Remember, Peter and the apostles, they were not all the way built up. You know, when you first read about them in their encounters, man. Okay, Peter wasn't ready to walk on the water at that moment. He got scared. But over the course of a period of time, over various trials, over different exercises of faith, they had it in them to do it. And the Lord put the Spirit on them. And when you read the book of John, the 20th chapter, when the Lord is basically dealt with them, I believe it was 40 days, he blesses them, all right? And they went on to do many miraculous works. He blew on them, okay? And they had that spiritual power after that, okay? But it had to be a buildup of that, okay? So all of our trials that we're going through, woman problems, you know, money problems, you know, bodies and infirmities in your body, ailments, things of that nature, anything that's a thorn, all right? These are to build you up, because if you're continuing in this thing and you still have faith in this thing, man, your investment into your spiritual defense is robust, man. Okay, you have a large spiritual bank account, okay, and that's what we're gonna draw on when all hell breaks loose. The guys that are not making the investment, they're just going through the motions. They just want to be seen, you know. They want to get views, whatever that. When they try to go to their spiritual bank account when all hell breaks loose, they're not gonna have anything in there. Okay, as a matter of fact, they may be in a negative. All right, so this is how you have to look at it, at the walk that we're doing, okay, and what we're a part of. When you read Isaiah the 53rd chapter, Okay, it says he was a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief. That's for a reason. Okay, the Lord has to prune us and put us in that pressurized environment because of what we're being made into, you know. Lord willing that we're of the elect, okay? We're prisoners of hope, that the Lord has chosen us to do this thing because we know that he's going to choose choice, lively stones to build up the temple, okay? And so that's how you have to see yourself as you're being put down in a very lowest state, in a high pressurized environment, okay? And that's going to come with things, and ultimately this thing will get violent, it will get bloody. Again, our enemies are carnal, all right? But have faith that the Lord is going to see us through, you know? And if the Lord happens to choose a few brothers to fall by the sword of our enemy, just know that he's going to have the spirit in them to overcome that as well, all right? So you know, this thing is serious, man, all right? You know, it's time to tighten up. We can see these people are already on edge. We can see that that you know, their economic situation is pretty much through. It's pretty much over with. And now, you know, you have a cruel Lord at the head of it, okay? Who doesn't care that you that you can't make ends meet, all right? Keisha's about to feel it big time this year, man. Food stamps and Section 8 and oh yeah, student loans. These are all things that are going to be angles of attack to get you desperate, because he wants to offer you an alternative solution to Yahushua, okay? And if you take it, you cannot repent from that, okay? I'm speaking about Revelation, the 13th chapter, verse 16, okay? If you take that, you cannot come back from that. So remember, all of this boils down to the hour of temptation, okay? If we make it past that, we're good, okay? There's nothing anybody can do to us, okay? Job, the 5th chapter, speaks about the miracle that'll be going on, you know, where it says in 6 troubles, yet in the 7th shall no evil touch thee. All right, where it says we'll be in league with the stones of the field, the animals are going to be at peace with us. So even if we're out in the wilderness, the Lord is going to have our back. He's going to see that we get fed, we get clothed, okay? But it's not just for anybody, okay? It's got nothing to do with how popular you are among Israel, how well spoken you are, all right? How many times you've been to camp. You got to have the right spirit in you, man. And believe it or not, there's elect and help all over the place, man. Men that may not even be doing the work right now, but the Lord is going to smile down upon them and have that mercy on them, okay? And they may just give us a ride somewhere, and then the Lord say, okay, you're sealed. They may give us some water, okay? As the scriptures say, you give the prophets a drink of water, you receive a prophet's reward, okay? So there's all kind of people, the Lord, that's down here that we don't see yet, okay? And the Lord's gonna set up things in due time to do what he's got to do. And a lot of people are gonna get sealed when these miracles start popping off, okay? When things get extremely dire in the normal conventional life, and then the Lord has his men, you know, stand out, you know, via miracles and divine intervention and those kind of things, okay? We're in those times. Okay, we're in the end times. Don't let Nate and these other people tell you, Bishop Nate of the IUIC tell you that we got another 20, 30 years. You know, Pegazar is telling you it could be another 1,000 years. All right, we're in those times where any day, any week, you know, anytime this year, really, you know, we could be cut off from what the society as we know it today. Okay. And so come to grips with that, and again, have faith. Whatever you got to do to show up your faith, pray, anoint yourself, read the scriptures, man. Read all of the accounts where it looked extremely dire and the Lord came to the rescue of the men that he chose, man. You know, you can read that in Maccabees, man, okay? You can read the accounts in, you know, when we had to deal with the Canaanites in the book of Numbers and Joshua, all right? You know, you can read the 3 holy children. extremely dire situations, man, we thought we weren't going to make it out of, but the Lord saw fit to instill enough faith in us, and he came down and he supernaturally rescued us, man, just to show the other heathen who are his. Okay, and in that day, nobody gonna be able to gainsay or say nothing. Okay, all of y'all think y'all are Hebrew Israelites and this, blah, 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 blah. Well, the Lord is gonna show who is his or not, okay? While y'all are calling on Jesus, we're gonna see if that name delivers you in the times that we're coming into, because your churches, your leaders aren't even telling you this is coming. They're too busy making you feel good so you give more tithes. Even though you're rubbing pennies together, they're still trying to figure out a way to get more tithes out of you, telling you you're going to be blessed, okay? But the men of the Lord, as the scriptures say, we're occupied in prophecy, and as the scriptures say, we don't dwell in the house of mirth, okay? But in the house of mourning, all right? We don't dwell in the house of feasting, all right? We understand what time it is, and we're at the time of really a giant Passover that we're hoping the Lord, you know, has the death angel pass over us. You know, that's the spirit that you need to be in, okay? You know, because we don't know, and we need to be on our P's and Q's, you know, head on the swivel, watching your surroundings, making sure you're not unnecessarily entertaining people you don't need to entertain, okay? Have purpose in things that you do, man. It ain't like you can't go out and have a drink or something like that, but be intentional. Go in and go out, you know. Don't just be wandering around aimlessly, you know. Anyway, I'm going to end it there, Lord willing. This is edifying. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rachak B'dah Shalom. Kam Yasharah.